Hello, it's me here once again with another video today, and today I thought I'd do something once again a little bit different. I know it's been a couple weeks since I uploaded my last video, kind of took a little bit of a break and thought I'd come back a little bit refreshed. And so today I'm going to be talking about a new series, Gods of Guitar. Now, I did this on my last channel, and I really wanted to get into it. There's some stuff I talked about or some stuff I missed or didn't really mention, so I thought, you know what, let's clear the slate, let's start this all over again and talk about the Gods of Guitar. And today I'm going to be starting with what I believe is one of the most underrated guitar heroes, at least in my opinion. I love his music, I love his sound, I love his tone, and I'm going to be talking about the great David Gilmour. I think David Gilmour is one of the greatest guitar players to ever play and be able to set not only a feel for the music. I think him and Rick Wright were great at really energizing that Pink Floyd sound. Now, when David Gilmour came into Pink Floyd was already an established act. Syd Barrett's mental state was deteriorating rapidly over a couple years, and by the time David Gilmour came in, it always felt weird, and Gilmour even said it always felt weird just being there with Syd. Syd would occasionally play whenever he felt like it, and so he came in the band, and I think it was the best thing for Pink Floyd. I know there is some section of Floyd fans that say, well, Syd Barrett really is Pink Floyd, and everything else isn't, but I think Pink Floyd's greatest decision they ever made was bringing David Gilmour in as a guitar player, because, man, he revolutionized this band musically, because I felt Syd Barrett was very limited. But anyway, let's get back on to David Gilmour. Gilmour's guitar tone, and it really felt like the first couple, 2-3 albums, David Gilmour was really searching for that tone. They were doing a little bit of everything. They were doing soft acoustical melody songs. They were doing hard rock. They were doing pop rock. And then it really came up, and I think the moment to me where David Gilmour started to really set him apart was right in 1970 and the title track, Atom Heart Mother. To me, features some of David Gilmour's best guitar solos, in my opinion, and really raised the bar for the band musically. But not only that, you also had on that album another great solo in Fat Old Son. You had Alan's Psychedelic Breakfast on there. It was a good album. But there was always this, okay, what do we do next? And the next album, the song Echoes, just blew the doors off of anything I'd ever heard at the time. I remember the first time I heard Echoes was on Echoes, the Best of Pink Floyd. It was a stripped down version, really. It's about 10 minutes less. But my God, David Gilmour's guitar playing on that, the feel of it, him and Rick Wright, that atmosphere being set, really started to emerge Gilmour as a great guitar hero. Next album, Obscured by Clouds, really showed where the band was going. Gilmour, wow, even though it's a soundtrack album, the band didn't really play much off of it, but the guitar work, the slide work on this, and that's something David Gilmour, I don't think gets enough credit for, how great of a slide player he actually was. Just amazing slide work. Then you had songs like The Gold Is in the Childhood's End, those solos to me, Free for just some amazing guitar work. And then you had Dark Side of the Moon, which I know didn't have much in terms of David Gilmour solos. I believe Time and Money are really it, which guitar-wise it was kind of a dry album. But it's those two songs that really set David Gilmour into the stratosphere because they're two of his great solos. But then you follow it up, Wish You Were Here. To me, that is Pink Floyd's greatest record, and it features, to me, some of David Gilmour's most iconic guitar work, especially tone, sound, just technique. Like, Shine On You Crazy Diamond should be pretty much a must To anybody that wants to learn to play blues guitar, blues rock guitar, must learn Shine On You Crazy Diamond. That song, holy shit, the rhythms in it, and that's another part of David Gilmour that I'll get into. Then he followed up with Animals, which Dogs, wow. The amount of guitar work just in that song alone, the dubs, the overdubs, the guitar parts, David Gilmour is on point on that album. I know I didn't rate it very high in my Pink Floyd albums, but Dogs, Pigs, 3 different ones, that whole song, once again, David Gilmour's on. Sheep and Pig on a Wing didn't really have much to do with Gilmour. And then he followed it up going into his solo stuff, his first solo album, which to me is his best he ever did. That was David Gilmour at his pinnacle. Just some great stuff. But also, the rhythm work of David Gilmour also gets very underrated very quickly. It really does. It's a sad part. You get into stuff like even his rhythms on Dogs, like a dan 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 da 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 dan 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 da da. Just great stuff. It's nothing that I'd say is overly complicated or anything. It's just the way David Gilmour does it, the feel he has, the sound, the pizzazz around it, just sets it apart from a lot of different guitar players because he makes it seem so effortless, is what he's playing. Then you get The Wall, you have Comfortably Numb, that great image of David Gilmour on top of the wall during the tour, doing the final solo to it. Just amazing, but also his other solos on that album, the solo in Hey You, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, Young Lust had a great solo in it. Run Like Hell's another damn good song by the band. But then you get into, after the final cut, after Roger Waters leaves and everyone assumes the band's dead. Roger Waters says the band's dead, they're defunct. Gilmour took the mantle, and in my opinion, released 2 absolutely fantastic records. I know A Momentary Lapse of Reason gets shit on, called Dated, but the song Soul, Sorrow, Learning to Fly, Dogs of War, On the Turning Away, just great stuff. Then you get The Division Bell, which to my opinion is one of the pinnacles of David Gilmour. There is not, nor will there ever be, another David Gilmour. Just in terms of sound, that album, start to finish, throw it on. It's a masterclass, not only in mixing, but also in great guitar work. And nothing, like I said, nothing he really does is overly complicated, at least looking at it. But the more you break down the nuances of David Gilmour, the more I really admire what he did. His second solo album, About Face, is another, it's kind of a dated album like A Momentary Lapse of Reason, but there is some really good stuff on there. To me, Love on the Air, Murder, All Lovers Are Deranged, Let's Get Metaphysical, there's some good stuff on that record. I didn't care much for his 2006, I want to say, On an Island release. Didn't like that one too much. Now, it didn't go as much because it just didn't feel like David Gilmour. It felt more like Crosby, Gilmour, and Nash is really the best way I can describe it. That's really how I felt about it. Because Celerization, to me, off that album was absolutely fantastic. It's more of the Pink Floyd route. This Heaven was kind of that blues rock, but it's kind of those other songs that kind of break down and really, to me, wasn't quite as good. I didn't care much for The Endless River. I did like Rattle That Lock quite a bit. I thought there was some great stuff on there. It was David Gilmour trying different stuff, jazz, rock, just ballad stuff. I quite enjoyed it. Now, looking at David Gilmour's career, it's absolutely mesmerizing just listening to his guitar playing in Pink Floyd. That's not getting into all the other collaborations he did with other people. I believe he also was on an Atomic Rooster song, I read somewhere, which I'm going to have to search that song out because I love Atomic Rooster as well. But anyway, that's my thoughts and opinions on why David Gilmour, to me, is one of the greatest guitar players of all time, and this is kind of like my pantheon of great guitar players. It's going to be a series I'm going to keep doing. Some of my entries I did in my last channel, they'll change a little bit. But anyway, this is me here, signing out. Peace.